Yes, my G's, what's going on? Welcome to Bucharest in the summer, to my beautiful terrace right here. What a great time to find your next girlfriend. Woo! The reason why I say this is because yesterday I was strolling on, this is the busiest street here in Romania. One of the most famous streets is called Calea Victoriei, right? The Street of Victory. And I live right above it here in the most prime area. And there was a guy that was walking around yesterday, and I respected him fucking massively for doing this. Asian guy, like yellow Asian, about 5'10", 5'11", decent haircut, average fashion, definitely would have fixed him up with some better clothes. He was cold approaching girls on the street. And he had a particular strategy, actually. He was waiting by traffic lights. It's so interesting. I love this. He was waiting at the traffic light. And I literally watched him do this about 3 or 4 times yesterday as I was strolling around the central area as well. And he was tactically putting himself at the start, at the crossing, right? So here you got a crossing. He was standing there at the crossing, and he'd look over his shoulder and there'd be a girl there, and he'd say something. He'd open up the conversation. But what impressed me was what he was saying, because I listened in on a few occasions and I was loving it. I was like, yes, I respected it. I love that. I love people and men with a pair of balls walking up to girls on the street, because it's hard. It's hard to do that shit. So if you pull it off, you're a straight G. Respect. So the first girl he said this to, he was like, wow, I feel like I'm in a fashion show right now. I just turned around and looked at you and I was like, wow, am I on a catwalk? And I was like, yes. Not the best line in the world, but still funny, interesting, conversation opener, conversation starter. She turned around, she engaged with him, they were talking, he then crossed the road with her. Then when they got to the end of the pathway, so let's say they started talking here, as they walked over there, they had to cross, they had to then split off ways, right? And it was really, really clever of him to do this. And I've studied this shit for a long time, right? So I'm fucking expert level at this, right? Unbeatable at this stuff. But once he got to that point and he was about to split off, it was a great opportunity for him to say, hey, I need to go right now. I'm like kind of going this way, but I'd love to grab your number. So I saw him attempt that a few times. Right, a couple of times he failed. The girls were like, no, sorry, not interested, or no, sorry, got a boyfriend. I didn't hear what they said on a few occasions, but I noticed that when he whipped his phone out, nothing really happened, and then they just walked off in separate directions. The point is, I rate this guy massively, massively, for walking up to these girls in Romania. He's Asian as well, by the way. Like, he looked like Vietnamese, Chinese, something. And the reason why I respect it even more is because Romanian girls only like white men. To be completely honest. And he didn't give a fuck. He just went for it. It was very brave of him. He just went straight in, did his cold approaching, had a tactic, which is really interesting as well. I like the fact that he actually had a tactic, right? He had a particular move that he was doing. I really got to get a videographer rather than me holding this because my arm gets a little bit tired. He had a particular move, and it was start at the traffic light when you're crossing over, look over if there's a cute girl, and just drop a line. Great tactic, and he kept repeating that over and over again. So you don't need to come up with new stuff all the time. You can actually do the same shit and see if it works, because ultimately, game and cold approach is a numbers game. And, you know, I played this game for a long time. Like, I'm a bit more of a veteran in the game now. I don't really play it as much, even though I'd love to, because it's super exciting and it's super fun. Super, super fun to do cold approach on the street, by the way. You know, listen, if I was to grab a group of men and I was taking them on a boot camp and there was, 10 men, I would be like, the first thing I want these men doing is cold approaching on the street, because there's nothing better for your confidence than doing that. Right? Not many men do it. Hardly any men do it, especially the younger generation. The younger generation are pussies. These kids would never do it. No, TikTok. I might as well just message them on TikTok or Snapchat. I'll just Snapchat her. Losers. You walk up to them on the street, you make an impact, you're different. You're not that guy on Tinder, right? Now, I just massively respected this guy for doing that. Again, he wasn't the best looking guy, but he was well groomed. He looked after himself. Decent haircut. Half decent clothes. Could have done a lot better on the clothes front. He wasn't short, he wasn't massively tall, there wasn't anything spectacular about him, but his confidence and his approach, it was a great line. And he's also American, or Canadian. He was like, You know, that fashion line is so funny. Like, I feel like I'm on a catwalk right now. Like, wow, I looked over and saw you. And I was like, what's going on? And then you just take the conversation into a natural flow. How you doing? Where you off to right now? You seem really cute. Are you actually in fashion? Because it looks like it. Oh, I'm out with my friends tonight. We're going to this really cool bar. Have you heard of it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fucking top-notch game. At that point, you've started, you've kicked it off, you've opened up the conversation. Hey, you seem lovely. I'd love to grab a coffee with you. You know, I don't know if you've got a boyfriend, but, you know, maybe you can also bring him along too. Whatever. Like, just be funny, be cool, be interesting. So just do it, man. It's summer. I don't know what city you're in. I'm in Bucharest, and I'm pretty happy. I've got an amazing chick right now. You know, so I'm kind of like, I'm not really out there chasing. I'm too busy with my business. I'm too busy building my crypto algo bot with my team, adding new members of the team, too busy making my content, too busy building my funnel, too busy going to the gym every day, too busy booking my trips and holidays to be out on the streets gaming 24/7. I don't need to be gaming 24/7. I have a very good roster of women and one that I really like at the moment. So I don't want to be disrespectful, but I miss it. It's a lot of fun. It builds your confidence to new levels. I highly recommend any man does this shit. You know, you want to come to Eastern Europe? You want a day game on these streets? The amount of hot girls, I'm spoiled, man. I'm spoiled. And the difference here is that they're not just hot girls. They're like angels. They're nice, sweet girls. In Miami, I'm just approaching hoes on the beach. Fuck that, bro. This is what it's about. Anyway, enough respect to that guy.